do you want us to leave?
Yeah, go behind the camera.
Really?
Nasty with you.
Why are you so hunchback?
I'm not.
Jack, shut up.
I thought just cancel it. Yeah, but I just booked it. I thought, fuck it, that's what I want to do, so just booked it. You know what I mean?
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. So in today's video, me and Jack are going to be doing a travel Q&A. So many people asked on Instagram like questions about travelling when we were away, and I just thought it'd be easier to do like a big video just answering everyone's questions. But if you didn't know, we went travelling for, I was going to say 2 years then. I wish. We went travelling for 2 months. We went to Thailand for a month, Bali for a month, and then Singapore for 3 nights. So we're just going to answer questions on like where we stayed, costs, tips, how we planned it all out.
What went well and even better if.
What went well and even better.
WWEBI.
So I asked you guys to ask me some questions on Instagram, so I'm just going to go through them.
You got so many, didn't you?
Yeah. So I got a few questions like how to know where to book, what site did you book everything on, how long did it take to plan it, what travel route did you go. Quite a lot of people, I think, get overwhelmed with like where to start, and I was like that. I was like, where do we even start like booking this massive trip? To be honest with you guys, yeah, Jack did. Jack basically did all of it, so that's why I needed him in this video to actually explain what to do. The way we did it, we started with where we wanted to go, and we both knew we wanted to do Thailand, and originally we wanted to do Australia as well, with it only being 2 months because that's the time Jack could get off work. We just felt like it'd be too much to fit into 2 months, like Australia, Thailand, and Bali.
Yeah.
So we then decided we just wanted to do Thailand and Bali. But yeah, obviously Bali's really close to Australia, but I think in the future we're going to do a trip just travelling Australia and do like the whole of Australia, because obviously Australia's massive. So yeah, our priorities were Thailand and Bali.
But your priority was Thailand and my priority was Bali before we went.
Yeah.
But I was mainly looking forward to Bali and you was mainly looking forward to Thailand, weren't you?
Yeah, that's how we decided where we wanted to go. So booking everything, we started with flights.
Yeah.
We chose the date we wanted to go. So we just basically looked on TikTok, really, looked online, places in Thailand to go and everything, and just went to like all the popular ones. There's so many like itineraries and like routes to go and everything on TikTok. We basically just followed one of those, didn't we?
But we found all the information from online.
Yeah.
TikTok, Google, YouTube videos. So
when we got to Phuket, we could have decided to stay a bit longer and then got a boat to the Phi Phi Islands, or if we didn't like Phuket then go to the Phi Phi Islands earlier. So you literally can do it however you want. Like when you actually get there, it's quite,
you don't need to pre-book too many hotels. So basically I'd say book the first week of your trip so you don't have to worry, but after that, the night before, you can look up on booking.com or Agoda. I use the Agoda a lot. Literally look up hotels in the next destination and for the next day and you can book it.
Yeah, and we didn't really find it to be more expensive than when we pre-booked.
No, it's almost cheaper because it's last minute deals sort of thing.
Because we actually decided to go to Koh Tao really last minute and found a really cheap hotel, and it was really nice.
Stayed for 5 nights in total, didn't we?
Yeah, that's basically how we booked it all. Like we started with the flights and then we booked a couple of the hotels, but like Jack said, I wouldn't actually worry about having every hotel booked because you can do it last minute.
We booked the course, so we booked the flights to Bangkok, we booked the flight down to Phuket. After that, we booked no transportation to any of the places. And then we did book our last flight from Koh Samui back to Bangkok. Then the flight from Bangkok to Bali. The flight from Bali to Singapore. The flight from Singapore back to London. We had all of that pre-booked.
Yeah, so we booked all the flights.
Because we knew that's how long we would want to spend. We booked the flights to each destination. Yeah,
and then once we had that, we just started planning out like what places we wanted to go to. What travel route did you go? So we went from London to Bangkok. We did 3 nights in Bangkok, and then we got a flight to Phuket. We did 5 nights in Phuket.
Yeah.
But we basically did
3 nights in
Patong Beach and 2 nights in Old Town Phuket. We then got a boat from Phuket to the Phi Phi Islands.
Yeah.
We stayed in the Phi Phi Islands for
4 nights.
4 nights. We then got a boat from the Phi Phi Islands to Krabi. We stayed in Krabi for 5 nights. We then went from Krabi to Koh Tao, but it was quite a long route, so we had to get a coach, which was
Like 3 hours.
3 hours. Then got a boat to Koh Tao, which was another
3 hours.
3 hours. And then we stayed in Koh Tao for 5 nights, and then we went from Koh Tao to
Koh Samui.
Koh Samui.
Koh Samui, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, and we stayed in Koh Samui for
4 nights.
4 nights.
2 nights in Patong Beach and 2 nights in Fisherman's Village.
Yeah, and then we flew back to Bangkok. So we decided to go back to Bangkok and actually stay 2 nights in Bangkok, because you can get a flight to Bali but have a stop over at Bangkok. But because we didn't know whether we'd like Bangkok or not, we just thought we'd only had 3 nights at the start, so we'd do another 2 nights, which I'm quite glad we did, because I feel like it gave us like a chance to like rest. And then we got a flight from Bangkok to Bali. We did
4 nights in Seminyak, and then we did 4 nights in Canggu, and then we got a taxi to Ubud and stayed there for 5 nights. And yeah, then we got a taxi and boat from Ubud to the Gili T island. 5 nights in Gili T, and then we got a boat back to the island of Bali and a taxi down to Uluwatu, where it was for a week.
Yeah, a week.
Our final week.
And I actually loved Uluwatu.
Yeah, Uluwatu was lovely.
It was so good. But yeah, that was basically our route. I'll leave it in the description as well, just so you don't have to like try and like remember all that. But I feel like it worked out really well, and I'm happy with everywhere we went. And
yeah, the route was perfect in both places, to be fair.
Long we stayed in each place. So regarding luggage, we brought 70-litre backpacks. Yeah. Because we were like, if we're going to the smaller islands, it's going to be hard to bring a suitcase and like drag the suitcase around, so it'd be better to just have like a big rucksack. But we would actually recommend, if you're not staying in hostels and you're going to do it like me and Jack did, where you stay in like hotels, I would have actually preferred to have a suitcase. Yeah. And everywhere we went, we could have carried the suitcase round.
Yeah, before we went, I thought we'd be getting off at like on the islands and having to like walk across like beaches and like rocks and shit. I don't know what I was expecting.
I know.
But everywhere you could literally wheel a suitcase around so easily.
So yeah, I actually would recommend to bring a suitcase. Obviously you can bring a backpack, like we were fine with that. I just got Jack to hold mine the whole time. But yeah, we had 70-litre backpacks, and then we also had like Jack had another rucksack, but like a smaller
hand luggage one.
Yeah, and then I just had a bag. So quite a lot of people have asked about the cost, and I feel like it's quite a hard one to answer, because
depends on you.
Yeah, it depends on how you're doing it, and just you, like
where you're staying, what you want to do every day, how much you drink, how much food, how many activities you want to do, because everything costs. So like you can make it genuinely so cheap. Like
I reckon we could have done it for half the amount that we spent if we were staying in hostels, if we just didn't eat out like at restaurants every night, like really nice restaurants.
Didn't drink as much.
And didn't drink as much. So for the flights, this is the first thing we booked. We spent £1,200 each. So that was all the flights booked, and then obviously we had the accommodation to book. And again, with accommodation, that varies. You can stay in really expensive places. When we first started booking it, we had like a budget of not going over £40 a night.
Yeah, £40 a night.
So some of our hotels were cheaper than that, but most of them, I'd say,
on average, were £50 a night.
Yeah, around £50 a night. But obviously if you're staying in hostels, it's going to be like,
you can get them for like £5 to £10
a night. So you can do it so cheap. So on average we spent about 1,300 on accommodation for 2 months in Thailand and Bali. And obviously we could have done it so much cheaper.
Yeah.
Like we definitely could have found places for like £20 a night.
Yeah.
But
we wanted to make the most, because the fact is that 50 quid, you're getting such a nice hotel. Anything in Europe, you're paying £200 a night, £300 a night for it. So we thought, whilst we're here, because we're only doing 2 months, we thought, fuck it, let's just like do it.
Someone asked how much on average would you recommend you need to spend a day?
Well, I think that literally depends on what you want to do in that day. For example, you could have breakfast, lunch and dinner all for like £4 or £5 each meal. Not even that, if you went to local restaurants, but if you go to their westernised or a bit more upmarket restaurants, you're still paying like, what, £8 to like £12 or something like that for like a main meal, so it's still cheap. So it all depends where you go for food, how much you want to drink in that day. For example, beers and stuff like that are cheap, they're literally a few quid. But if you're drinking loads of them, then obviously you're going to spend more. It depends what activities you get to, how many times you need to use a taxi. So we used Grab for our taxi services, but it's only like a few quid to go 20 minutes down the road, wasn't it? Like, it is so cheap. But again, if you did loads of that throughout the day, that all adds up. It's
hard to say how much you need for spending money, because it literally depends whether you want to do like the boat trips, if you're going to Bali, tours, do the beach clubs. But
to survive, like if you was doing no activities, you weren't getting taxis, you're just eating, you would literally need like 20 quid max.
Like, you can do it on such a budget. Like, we were getting 7-Eleven toasties in the morning for 50p, and then some places, like one of the restaurants we went to, our dinner was coming to like £5 each.
Yeah.
With a drink,
with a beer. With a beer, yeah. Sorry, the camera died. I hear you say that.
Yeah, the camera actually did die.
Yeah.
I can't remember what we were talking about now, but we'll move on to... oh, we were talking about how much you need to spend
per day.
So yeah, it literally varies.
Yeah, it's impossible to say. Long story short, you can do it on such a budget, and you can also spend loads of money.
Someone asked, did you get a boat across to each island in Thailand? Are the boats as unsafe as they look? So yeah, we got 3 boats in Thailand. Our first boat was from Phuket to the Phi Phi Island, and we actually chose a speedboat.
Yeah.
So I was actually really nervous about the boats because I didn't really know whether I'd get like seasick, and I also kept seeing on TikTok all this like stuff about the boats like tipping over, being like really rocky, and like it actually does scare you. You're like, what the hell? But the first boat that we got, I didn't get seasick at all. The only problem was the cases were all in the middle, so everyone was sat round and all the cases were stacked up. But because we was going like over some waves and stuff, the cases were falling everywhere, and Jack literally had 2 cases.
I was literally holding them on like that, wasn't I?
Yeah, the whole time.
I didn't like the speedboat because it was quite rough.
Yeah,
like,
but I didn't mind
Mm.
it. That's the thing, I think it depends. I preferred the speedboat to the ferry because it was quicker.
But if you're nervous about it like tipping over or things like that you see on Bali, just book the ferries, because the ferries are fucking huge.
Yeah.
So it'll be absolutely, there's no way that's going to be tipped over unless you're in like a tsunami.
Yeah, and you can't really feel it
at all.
The boat. So yeah.
And they're air-conned.
Yeah, we did get a couple of boats and they were fine.
Yeah.
Like, none of them we had problems with.
Not at all. The only thing I would say is the luggage thing. Like on the big ferries, they chuck it around.
They don't buy an expensive case.
No.
Thinking it's going to be alright, because they do just chuck the...
When you get to the pier, the other side, they literally just chuck them onto the pier, and you have to like go and run around and oh, here it is.
Which one's mine?
Where's mine?
Yeah, the boats were fine, and they're actually quite cheap as well.
Oh, so cheap, like 15 quid each.
So someone asked, is there any places / islands you thought were overrated? But I'm actually happy with everywhere we went, and I don't regret anything. But the one thing I would say is I don't think we should have done 5 nights in Phuket.
No.
I did like the old town, but I feel like we could have just gone there for the day, seen it.
Or one night.
Yeah, one night, and then that's it. Like, there's not really much to do in the old town. I think because Phuket's so big, like, it's hard to know where to stay. Like, I also feel like I wish we stayed near the nice beaches, because down the west coast of Phuket are all the nice beaches. We stayed in Patong Beach.
So that was the place to go.
Yeah.
But it's just like, that Bangla Road is mental. It's cool to experience, but it's just like a glorified Zante or Magaluf strip.
We could have just done one night there as well. Or even just got a taxi there and gone to...
Yeah, you still need to experience Bangla Road.
Yeah.
Like, it is mental. But like, we didn't need 3 nights there.
No.
At all.
I would say as well, with Bali, I think we keep saying now, we kind of wish we did Bali first and then Thailand.
Yeah.
Because we love Thailand so much. All the beaches were unreal. And then when we got to Bali, I think our
expectations were higher.
so high. The beaches aren't anything like the Thailand beaches. So
only nice beaches in Bali are Uluwatu and obviously Gili T, the Gili Islands, but that's not even Bali. That is actually islands off of another island called Lombok.
When we did get to Bali, we were in Seminyak first, and I just remember going down to the beach. It didn't help that it wasn't sunny. It was quite cloudy, so this beach literally looked like we were in England.
Yeah,
Me and Jack just stood there and we were like, what have we done? It was only like the first week and we didn't really have great weather, it was cloudy. But after that, when it was sunny, like, it makes everything look so much nicer, and I would definitely recommend to go to Uluwatu because the beaches were so nice, like the sea was blue.
We spent too long in Canggu and Seminyak. We did 4 nights and 4 nights, so 8 nights in total. They're right next to each other and they're basically the same.
You can get a taxi, like
in
short
15 minutes. So either stay in one and still visit the other, but like 4 nights to see both areas probably be plenty for me.
And why we did that is because on TikTok you see like all of these restaurants and bars to go to, and they're all in
Canggu and Seminyak.
Canggu and Seminyak, and Finn's Beach Club, because we did 8 nights.
Yeah, that was too much.
And it was basically the same place. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it.
And it's very westernised, so you don't really get the full culture vibes from Seminyak and Canggu.
So quite a lot of people asked about like money, and like, did you get money out in the UK before you came? Did you mainly use cash or card? And questions like that.
So we got a Starling card because it's free to use abroad, so you don't get the 3% charge like Lloyd's and stuff like that charge you.
In Thailand it was mainly cash because most places only took cash.
Yeah.
But we did get charged every time we got
about
cash
£6-7.
Yeah. So we said we think we spent quite a lot on getting cash out.
Yeah, because we didn't want to get loads and loads and loads and loads of cash out in case we lost it, we got like mugged or something, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or misplaced it or whatever, or got drunk and stuff. So we kept getting it out at regular times, but it was £6-7 each time.
The only way you can avoid that is getting the cash out at the banks.
Yeah.
But we didn't want to go searching around for a bank every place we went, so we just sucked it up and had to pay the £6. I'd say we got quite a lot of cash out in Thailand and used cash in most places. We did bring some cash out with us, which is a good idea, but again, you don't want to bring too much just in case you lose it or like someone takes it. But in Bali we just use card everywhere. 90%
of the time it's just card.
Yeah.
But unless you go to local restaurants though, I reckon it might be different at local restaurants. We didn't really eat at local restaurants that much, did we?
No. So someone asked, is there a restriction that say unmarried couples can't stay together in Bali? And just before we went travelling, we heard about this new law. If you're not married, you can't sleep in the same room.
Yeah, I'll stay in the same house, in the same room.
Yeah, stay in the same house. And we were like, oh my god, we're going to have to get
book 2 bedrooms.
book different
hotel
accommodations.
I don't know whether it actually relates to tourists or whether it is for people that are residents of the country. I'm not too sure.
So we don't actually know, but
for now it's sweet.
Yeah,
there's no
we were
problems,
fine. We were allowed to stay in the same room.
Yeah.
So obviously we've said how much we spent on our flights and average on like accommodation and everything, but quite a lot of people are asking like how much money they would need. Wanted to travel for 2 months like we did, but I would say we spent around £6 each to do the 2 months travelling, but again, that's
you can make that
the way
half
we
the price.
did it. Like, we chose nicer accommodations in some places, we drank quite a lot, we ate out in nice places. So if you're staying in hostels, if you're not drinking alcohol, if you just eat cheap meals, you can do it for like half the price. We
basically didn't really have a budget as such. We just wanted to say, it was like, right, we're just going to enjoy and do exactly and everything we wanted to do basically. We didn't really think about it. So if we was on a budget, we could easily make that work. Do you know what I mean? You could genuinely do it in like half the price. We basically spent £3 each spending money, so that's £1,500 a month. That's how we can break it down. Yeah,
as well, I think we spent quite a lot in the beach clubs in Bali because most of them had minimum spend, so you had to put an amount down and then you basically got that back in food and drinks. But
it's around £80 to £100 basically.
Were around like £100. So yeah, if we didn't do any of the beach clubs, then we would have spent
less.
You can do it however you want.
It's not very helpful, is it, really?
No, it's really hard to say.
But I suppose we spent £6,000 each, and that was doing it like without a budget. So then they've got something to work off.
So someone said, who did you book through, how much roughly? We didn't book the trip through like a travel company or anything, we did it ourselves. And for accommodation we were using booking.com, Agoda.
Mainly Agoda. Agoda I found the best deals on. We used Airbnb once for Peak
Airbnb.
Islands. But it's definitely worth having a look, because in each location there's some unbelievable Airbnbs, like villas and stuff like that in Thailand and Bali. But you have to be proactive with that, because they do sell out, because they're sick.
Yeah, they were the websites we used for accommodation. And then flights,
Skyscanner.
Yeah, because that gives you the cheapest flights.
Ferries, 123 Go Asia for the ferries. That was spot on. Use
Is
that
there an app?
I don't know, I just searched it up online. There is an app I think as well, but 123 Go Asia, you can put in where you want to go from and where you want to go to, and they give you times of boats, how much they are, what boats they are, pictures of the boats and everything like that, all the information you need. That was sick, that was well helpful. And then obviously to get around, taxis, Grab, or what was the other one? Gojek, yes, Gojek and Grab. Both for taxis, food deliveries. It literally is like Uber and Uber Eats combined basically.
So yeah, they were the apps and websites we used. So quite a few people asked if we got Bali belly and tips to avoid it and stuff. So we were actually really worried about getting sick. Like even in Thailand, and before we went out we was worried about getting sick in Thailand and Bali. So we managed to do the 4 weeks in Thailand and didn't get ill, and we were like, we're definitely going to get ill in Bali, because you just hear about
everywhere.
Yeah, Bali belly like all over TikTok and everything. We didn't get it. We tried to avoid it by not using the tap water to like brush our teeth. We didn't use the tap water once, like in Thailand or Bali.
So in Thailand and Bali there's lots of opportunities to get street food. We avoided most of them. I feel like people that have got some sort of Bali belly, had night before had eaten at some sort of street food market thing. But we went to one, and that was in Krabi. It was called Aeronang Night Market. We ate there because it just looked unreal.
Yeah, I think you can tell.
Yeah.
Like some of the markets we were going to, we were like, oh no, we wouldn't eat there, because it just didn't really look very hygienic. But in Krabi, we did just think we need to experience some of the street food. And
it was just unbelievable.
It was so good
and so cheap.
And it all looked quite clean, didn't it? So you just gotta like be careful and just
make sure they're cooking it fresh in front of you, because if they leave it out,
don't eat any
flies
food that's
all over the place
out.
Like in the warm.
But I hear some like people going to like the nice restaurants like and still getting Bali belly. So
I think we're just lucky.
Yeah, we were just lucky. Try not to worry about it, because it's just gonna ruin your trip if you do just like worry about everything you're eating and drinking.
We avoided ice in Thailand for quite a majority of the time, and even in Bali we started with avoiding ice, but the ice is fine in Thailand and Bali. Especially Bali, they have laws where they have to have regulated ice.
Sorry, the camera cut off again, but we were talking about the ice. Yeah, we were really worried about having any ice at the start, because we were scared it was going to be made from the tap water. But there was one tip on TikTok saying if the ice has got holes in, then you know that it's been manufactured. But in Bali we were just drinking ice all the time in the end, and obviously we didn't get Bali belly because everyone
was like, every beach club you look around, everyone's drinking ice. So you're thinking, well, if everyone else is drinking it, surely it'd be sweet, and it was fine.
Someone said, how does this phone SIM card work? Where did you get it from in Bangkok and Bali? So when we arrived in Bangkok, at the airport there was quite a few like stalls where we could have bought it. We just got our SIM cards from the 7-Eleven.
All you have to do is go there with your passport, and they'll literally do it for you. But you can choose like a 4-day one, like a week one, 2-week, or a month, a 30-day one. We did a 30-day one.
Yeah.
And from this 7-Eleven, it was literally like 10 quid. For 30 days, all the data you need, calls, texts, whatever. Obviously it's a new SIM card, new number and stuff, but obviously you can still use your apps and social media the same. You've just got a different number.
Yeah.
And
so it worked really well.
Oh yeah, it was like 5G.
All of our texts through 5G was working like really quick. So we didn't have any trouble with like SIM cards and stuff.
In Bali, we bought it in the airport, and again, it was literally like 10 to 15 quid. I can't remember what it was for the whole month. So easy, it was unreal.
Someone asked, did you apply for the Bali visa before you entered or when you arrived? So we landed, and as soon as you're going through, it basically looks like it's a passport control,
yeah.
And you just have to pay for the visa.
30 quid.
£30
for the month.
Does everyone have to pay for the whole month, even if
even if you go for a week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was so easy. Like, we didn't have to fill out any forms or buy it before. You just get it when you're at the airport. Arriving into Bali, we obviously had to get the visa, and then we went to another bit where we just thought it was like a passport control, queued up, got to the front, and they asked for a QR code, but basically we didn't see on the like sign that you just scan this QR code, fill out this form, and then you get given this QR code that they can scan. But the
form's long.
Yeah, it was asking like,
it's like 5 minutes.
What we did for
5 to 10 minutes.
A job.
While we're here,
emails,
who we're here
phone
with,
numbers.
like all the details.
Yeah, literally everything. So yeah, be prepared to fill out that.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of people ask what was your favourite place. So I'll say mine first. I'm going to say in Thailand and Bali, because obviously they're different. So Thailand, mine was definitely the Phi Phi Islands.
Why?
Because obviously it's such a small island, it was just so easy to like, I feel like you can get quite overwhelmed with like wanting to do everything and scared of like missing out and stuff.
Right.
But with the Phi Phi Islands, because it's so small, you could like walk from one side to the other.
Self-sufficient.
The main bit is in the middle. The rest of the island was just like forest, so it was nice to know that all the shops, restaurants and everything was just in one place. And obviously we did the boat trip when we were in the Phi Phi Islands to
Maya Bay.
Honestly,
incredible.
I recommend you have to do that. And even if you're not going to the Phi Phi Islands, you can do that trip from Phuket, Krabi. So yeah, 100% recommend you doing that. I think we paid about £50, and we got a private boat, so just me and Jack on this boat.
Half day tour, 3 hours we had.
3 hours. It took about 10 minutes to get to the island, and then you just go around it. You've got Pile Lagoon, Maya Bay, Viking Cave, Monkey Beach. So you can do all of them. You just tell them what bits you want to do.
Yeah.
Phi Phi Island's definitely my favourite, because as well, like, you remember when we arrived, we were just like, whoa, like, it looks fake. It just, everywhere you look, it just looks unreal.
I'll answer, mine was Phi Phi as well, but I don't know whether it was our favourite because it was our first island.
Yeah.
Like Koh Tao and Koh Samui, we both fucking loved as well.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we did it the other way round, whether our favourite would have been Koh Tao.
Yeah, like if we did Koh Tao before the Phi Phi.
But Koh Tao was bigger, so you couldn't walk everywhere. You had to get like taxi scooters and shit.
Like views like the Phi Phi Islands.
Yeah, no, go on, Phi Phi. It's got to be Phi Phi.
We were debating whether to do Koh Phangan.
Yeah, Koh Phangan.
Or that was what our original plan was, to do Koh Phangan.
Yeah.
But we mainly wanted to go there for the full moon party, which is only on like
they've got a list of dates online if you do want to make sure you fit
so we were like, do we really want to go there? And obviously we loved the Phi Phi Island so much, like a smaller island, and we kept hearing about Koh Tao, and I'm so glad we did Koh Tao over Koh Phangan.
It's still so
because Koh Tao was so good, and we got a boat trip as well to Shark Bay. And the water and the beaches there were just
incredible, weren't they? And we went to that Nang Yuan Island.
Oh yeah, Nang Yuan. Yeah, we went to Nang Yuan Island, and that was so good as well. There's like a viewpoint where you see over the whole island.
Yeah, it's cool.
So yeah, I definitely recommend to go to Koh Tao.
Yeah, but long story short, Phi Phi's the answer.
Yeah, Phi Phi Island. Someone asked which was your favourite beach club in Bali. So how many beach clubs did we do? Fins, Potato Head, Kratia, El Cabron, Pamela,
Surveyor,
and Kappa Beach Club. So we did 7.
That's 700 quid there.
Oh my god. But yeah, there's so many beach clubs in Bali, but that was like one of the things we were excited for.
Yeah, buzzing for that.
So that's why we did quite a few. But I would rate, my favourite one was Finn's Beach Club.
Yeah,
you've got, it even says it's the number one beach club in the world. I think we enjoyed it as well because we were with like other people.
We saying my company.
No, do you know what I mean?
No, yeah, you're right.
Like,
yeah, it was a
like
group.
with beach clubs, like it is more fun when there's like more of you. My favourite was definitely Finn's, but I would recommend all of them. Friends is definitely the most like party one.
Yeah.
Loud music, dancing, everyone's drunk. The more chilled ones were Pamela, El Cabron, Sundays, Potato Head.
All the other ones basically.
Yeah, all the other ones were more chilled.
Yeah.
And obviously
Surveyor for me was...
That was unreal because
we
booked an event which was Medusa. And
it was so
sick.
That is so expensive though. Like, it's seriously expensive.
They are all like, really expensive.
But drinks like in Fins and stuff was actually reasonably priced. The drinks in Surveyor was like £10 for like a 330ml bit.
Yeah, and El Cabron.
And El Cabron expensive.
That was expensive too. The one that looks the nicest is El Cabron. But basically, where we stayed in Uluwatu, it was on the same coastline as El Cabron. So El Cabron was here, and then just round the corner was our hotel, and our hotel had a beach club called Clapper, and it was so quiet at Clapper Beach Club. Like, I've never even heard of Clapper before.
No.
But El Cabron and Clapper both have pools, like infinity pools, and at Clapper you don't have to do this like minimum spend. Like, you can just turn up, get a sunbed, and then just have it. You
can literally buy water and sit on a sunbed and just chill out all day. Most unbelievable views
as El Cabron. So I would definitely recommend going to Clapper, because then you're going to a beach club. It is chilled, like it's not like loud
it's not
music
a club at all. It's like
anything.
literally just a pool area.
Yeah, but you don't have to spend like
no minimum spend at all.
So
and the price of drinks and stuff.
It was actually really nice.
And the sunset there, if you get a good sunset,
that
was unreal.
Like the best sunset we saw in Uluwatu.
Yeah.
Someone did say, how long did it take to plan your trip? And we've known that we wanted to do it now for probably like
a year.
Yeah, a year. But last year we hadn't booked anything. Like, we left it
we left it to like December. We were going like 3 months before we was going. We still actually hadn't booked anything.
Because we were actually deciding whether we wanted to try and get the flights in the January sales.
Yeah, that was it.
But we decided to book them in the end because
they just kept going up.
Yeah, and I don't think them sort of flights aren't in the January sales. So we ended up booking the flights in
it was like December
time, and then after we'd booked the flights we just started slowly booking accommodation. But we went in March, so yeah, from December to March, that's when we like planned it. So it didn't take long. We were just slowly doing like little bits every night, like, oh, we need to book accommodation here now. But like we said, you can just leave it to when you're actually there. And
once you know the rough route you want to do, look up at each place on TikTok and go things to do in this location, and I'll just jot them down. So I'd have like a heading of, I don't know, Koh Tao, Phi Phi, all these islands, and then in each one, restaurants, bars, things to do.
Yeah.
And then I'd just write them all down. But just do them over like a long period of time, because otherwise it gets so like overwhelming and almost boring, because you're like, oh, it gets a bit taxing sometimes. So spread it across a few months and spend a few evenings here and there, just like planning out what you want to do.
But even with like restaurants and stuff, we had some restaurants written down, but in the Phi Phi Islands, all you need to do is walk around and just see which ones you like the look of, and people recommend restaurants and stuff.
The thing is, you don't actually have to over plan it. Like, you can literally be so free spirited about it. You can just turn up and almost decide there and then. So I wouldn't get hung up on like trying to make sure you plan. Get a rough estimation on like route you want to do, place you want to stay, and then just go from there really.
So someone's asked, did you feel safe? And someone's asked, would you go alone? So before I went out there, I was quite like nervous about like how I would feel and whether it would feel safe. And also I was bringing my camera and laptop, and I was really worried about that getting stolen. In most of the places we stayed, there was a safe, and in Phi Phi Islands we stayed in like a wooden bungalow and there wasn't a safe, so I just had to keep my laptop in my bag, and it didn't get stolen. It didn't feel unsafe at all.
The Thai and Balinese people
so
are the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
I think the only trouble you probably have is with another Europeans out there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I saw so many people like travelling on their own.
Yeah.
And I think if you are travelling alone, then I would definitely recommend doing hostels, because we saw so many like groups of people, like
the social scene.
Yeah, you just meet like all these people as soon as you arrive. If you are thinking of travelling alone, you don't have anyone to go with, like a partner or friend, then you don't need to feel unsafe, and if you are staying in hostels, you're going to make
so many friends.
So many friends. So I think that's most of the questions answered. But we're also going to talk about like what to bring and like what we packed. Jack actually found the packing cubes.
Yeah, lifesavers.
Which you both bought. And they were so good.
Yeah.
Like obviously we had a rucksack and we didn't want to throw all of our clothes in the rucksack and then every day be like searching for like trying to find a top, shorts. So with these packing cubes we had like shorts in one, bikinis in the other, tops in one, and it just made it so much easier. And then it was
fit
all
more
like,
in.
yeah, and it just like made it all compact and you could just like neatly like pack your bag. So I definitely recommend getting packing cubes. And regarding like plugs, we just got the universal one because obviously we were going to Bali and Thailand, and they were so good as well. They also had the USB slots in them, so that made it so easy to charge our phone, and also have the plug as well if we wanted to like plug like a hairdryer or something in. I definitely recommend getting the universal plugs. And we also brought a extension lead as well, which was good because then we could plug more.
We brought hairdryer, straighteners.
Hairdryer, straighteners. I will say for you girls, I had extensions whilst I was out there, and I do regret getting extensions before I went out because it was so humid everywhere we went, just so hot. I would straighten my hair and it would go frizzy after like 5 seconds, so I wore it up basically the whole time. I didn't bring curlers. Like you really don't need to worry about bringing any like hair tools or anything because it does just go so frizzy.
Regarding clothes, we just literally tried to fit as much as possible in this rucksack. Like it is what it is. I reckon I brought like 6 or 7 swimming shorts.
For 2 months I brought about 10 bikinis, but I did buy 2 out there. It's like if you can fit like more bikinis in or swimming shorts, then
stuff
do
in
it
there,
because you might as well. But
getting things cleaned out there is so easy and so unreal. Like you can literally pay a few quid and they'll wash it, iron it and pack it up ready for you to come collect the next day. So you don't have to worry about taking loads to cover such a long period of time because you can get them cleaned everywhere for dirt cheap.
And then for like the day I was just wearing like little shorts or skirts, like really lightweight clothing, because I could only wear like denim shorts in the evening when it got like a little bit cooler. I wouldn't say bring dressy clothes for Bali or Thailand, because I brought a few dresses for Bali, but it's just so casual. Like everyone's just in like shorts and
wherever we went, I don't know whether there are other places you get more dressed up, but like everywhere we were going, it was all like so
when I did wear my dress, I did feel a bit overdressed. So I'll just recommend bringing like shorts or like a little skirt to wear in the evenings. I
overpacked with like thick, heavyweight, oversized t-shirts, so I had to buy like these mesh basketball vests. What did I just say? I had to buy these like mesh basketball vests. so I had to buy these like mesh basketball. So I had to buy these mesh basketball vests. I have to really think about it now. Basically, I had to buy these vests when I was out there.
That is just.
I couldn't wear it. I would be sweating, so humid, so hot.
I would shower and then just be like
wet.
Wet after, and you just need another shower. You always felt like you needed another shower.
You do get kind of used to it though. Like you just get used to being sweaty and like gammy all the time.
You do.
Do you know what I mean? Like you just have to deal with it.
Shoe-wise, I would just recommend just bringing a pair of sliders, and I brought trainers, and the one time I needed them was for Mount Batur.
The hike.
Hiking up the volcano. After Mount Batur, I just left them at the villa and just chucked them basically. It's hard though because it depends whether you want to do like hikes and like walking up viewpoints and stuff. Then you do need trainers.
No, I think one pair of trainers always, because but the rest of the time you was wearing like little sandals, sliders, like whatever. Just
like, and don't bring heels for the evenings. Just bring like little like sliders.
Basically, I just wanted to say, like, if you're thinking of doing it, do it.
Do it.
It was the best 8 weeks of my life. I mean, I think you said the same. Like,
we're planning
another one next year.
Next trip next year, because it was just so good. I've wanted to travel now for so long, and obviously we didn't know if we were going to like it or not, being away that long, being together
24/7.
But it was just so good. Like, I miss it so much, and I just can't wait to go again. So yeah, we'd 100% recommend to anyone to go travelling. Even like a 3-week trip to
Thailand.
You can do Thailand in 3 weeks. You can do Bali in 2 weeks.
3 weeks, max,
3 weeks. But yeah, I hope we've answered all the questions. But if you do have any other questions, you can just write them in the comments and I'll reply to them. I hope this helped you, because I feel like we needed this type of video when we were booking. Just like all the questions in one video, and like opinions and recommendations from people who had already travelled. But yeah, if you did like this video, give it a like and subscribe if you want to see more from me and Kirra and me and Jack.
Not today.
He's like, I'm off now, I'm never going back.
That's it.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in our next video. Bye.
No, you can't now.